Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Hack the Movies. You might be confused. You might be like, Tony, why isn't this a monthly wrap up? I'll get into why it's not a monthly wrap up in a minute. But first, I have to bring on my guest for this episode. I mean, it's Batman. Who else could it have been? It's Frank. Hello, Frank.
Whoa, hey, Tony, how you doing? It's Bruce Wayne, man. It's not bad.
It's Bruce Wayne.
And we're doing Caped Crusader because, and it's not a monthly wrap-up, because there was more important shows at hand.
Yes, we decided to go all in on Batman Caped Crusader. Now, you guys might be wondering, why does Frank sound so bad? Well, Frank, you've been real busy since we last saw you on the channel. You had a kid recently?
Yep, 6 weeks old.
Yes,
Yep.
and I'm sure you're taking care of it. I'm sure you're giving it a bath with hot water because you have a hot water heater, right? Right?
That didn't blow this week. Nope. Yep.
well, okay. Maybe you don't have a hot water heater, but at least you're not being attacked by bees. Okay.
Point I did have bees in my walls today. Yes, it was a very busy week, Tony.
Frank has had a very busy week, and we got to get him a microphone, and the only way I think we're going to be able to do that, Frank, is with super chats. I think our fans need to give us a bunch of super chats so we can get you a real microphone so we can do more of these live episodes. That's what I think.
I mean, I had one. It was very high end, and then I dropped it in my hot water heater leak. Yeah, that's what happened.
Why would you have your microphone near the hot water heater? That doesn't make any sense.
I streamed the whole thing. If you don't follow me, you should. It's eventful.
Yeah, so please leave a super chat. Some guy left a super chat yesterday, so I can't pull it up on the screen, but I have it here. For $10, Tony, I obtained a longer cut of Flintstones 1994 with extra scenes. It's a 2003 airing from the Sci-Fi Channel. Please let me know if interested. Emails on my YouTube page. Thank you for your time. Guys, my DMs are mostly open. You don't have to spend money to do that. I reviewed Flintstones on Cinema Trip Reviews. I actually would be interested to watch the extended cut. But yes, leave us a bunch of super chats. We will read them at the end. Frank.
Yep.
Talking about Batman Caped Crusader today. But first I got to do, you know me, I don't like to shill and beg for money, Frank. I hate doing it, but this is a business. On Patreon right now, Frank, the Alien Romulus episode is up early. If you can't wait till Monday to hear what me and Prison Mike have to say about Alien Romulus, you don't have to. You can watch it right now on Patreon. You can also watch the new episode of Blade Boys. That's where me, Royce, and Pessy are going through every episode of the Blade TV series from like 2006.
No, there's a TV series?
Yeah, Frank, how could you not know about this? You're a patron and watch every episode of Blade Boys, I assume, right?
Well, I've been watching the episodes. I just wanted to act like someone who didn't know. Whoa, there's a Blade TV series? I should go check it out and watch the Patreon.
So you're my plant that I leave in the crowd to hype me up. Got it. Yeah, that's all on Patreon. And you might be like, Tony, that's going to cost an arm and a leg. This is all the $2 tier. It's all the $2 tier. Yes, real quick. We are not doing a monthly wrap up. Every movie I saw in theaters this month is part of a dedicated review. So Alien Romulus, Deadpool, and the Crow remake will be part of a episode coming out soon. And I didn't have time because I went to Rochester, New York, Frank. One of the most crime-ridden cities in America. Yes, and I found out because I went to DabbleCon at Comedy at the Carlson, and look how packed this room is. Everyone was in this room, which led to a guy in the parking lot breaking into a bunch of cars and stealing one of them. Not mine, thankfully.
Did you do 5 minutes?
No. DabbleCon is put on by WATP and a lot of shows they're associated with. It was a great time. As you know, this is Boys Month. I've been having a great Boys Month. Frank, I picked this episode for you because I felt bad you weren't in Boys Month.
Because the whole month, from August 1st, I've been saying to Tony, wow, Boys Month, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? I felt a little left out, Tony, but it's okay. It's all right.
That's okay. You're here now. I just want to apologize from the bottom of my heart. On the second channel, I did some live streams while I was in Rochester, and Once Over with Kaylee injected herself into those live streams, sullying the good name of Boys Month. And then she uploads a review I did with her on her channel during Boys Month. I did not sanction that review. I do not approve of that review.
Is there a Women's Month with Hack the Movies? I was just wondering.
I'm gonna pretend like you never said that. Going. What kind of do we live in? Yeah.
Sorry for asking. It was a joke. It was
after Rochester, Frank. I went to Pittsburgh and I stayed a night in the Buffalo Bill House from Silence of the Lambs.
I saw, dude. Did you relive the whole scene from Joe Dirt?
I did do a live stream from the well that they built in the basement. Nice. I did a whole live stream there. So I'm gonna have more of that on Patreon, and we shot a Hannibal Rising episode, and I'll put a bunch of clips in there. And I even shot another Batman review in the house. Why did I do a Batman review in the Silence of the Lambs house? Because my guest lives in Pittsburgh, and it was the best place to shoot the episode.
That's cool. So you got to do it from the house.
Yeah, it was awesome. I highly recommend you guys go to Buffalo Bill's house. It's outside of Pittsburgh. If you're a fan of the movie, you got to check out that house. It was, Frank, the most surreal thing in the world was watching the movie in the house and then going in the kitchen to get water and be like, I just saw Jodie Foster in this kitchen. It was very, very surreal.
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty. Now the hole, the well, it doesn't actually go all the way down deep.
No, the well, everything in the basement in the movie wasn't real. That was on a set, but they recreated Buffalo Bill's sewing desk and they made a well with effects legend Tom Savini. So they recreated that in the basement. And Frank, we're talking about Batman, and I was in Pittsburgh. I had to do it, Frank. I had to revisit. It's now called Acrisure Stadium. I didn't know they changed the name.
Really?
But
I mean, that's the Steelers Stadium, right? It's the Pittsburgh Stadium.
It used to be called like Heinz Field. I think some people still call it Heinz Field, but I guess since then it's been changed.
Now, did you go in and sit in your actual seat where you sat for the movie?
No, they had nothing going on that day.
You didn't sign the seat that you sat in for it?
I wish I could have. I don't remember the exact seat, to be honest. But I did bring a copy of the movie so I could take this picture. It was great being in my hometown, which isn't really my hometown. It was really, really great. I had a lot of fun there. Real quick, did I send the Patreon link out? That's another fun thing I do on these live episodes, Frank. I forget to send Patreon links out to the patrons.
It's just part of the fun, man. It's part of being a patron.
It really is. It really, really is. God damn it. I did forget. Wait. Yes, it was saved in the drafts. Okay, I don't have to do the whole thing again. I could just publish it. So if you're a $10 patron and you want to talk about Batman Caped Crusader, you better head over to Patreon right now.
Yeah, come on down.
I am sending the link out right now.
Got a lot of thoughts on it.
Okay. Without further ado, Frank.
Hey.
Batman Caped Crusader. This one has been sitting for a while. They announced this a long time ago. Mm-hmm. It is a big collaboration amongst big producers like Bruce Timm, obviously. You know, the guy basically created Batman the Animated Series, the Timmverse.
Yes, sir.
He linked up with J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves, of all people. Matt Reeves, of course, doing the Batman and that continuity. Yeah. And J.J. Abrams, who's famous for bringing back franchises and then ruining them. So
two different ones in space as well. I will not name them.
Yeah, Star Trek 09. Oh, this is great. Star Trek Into Darkness. Oh, this sucks.
This is all rough.
Star Wars Force Awakens. Oh, this is fun. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. This is a joke movie. What is this?
Well, now he knows that he should just do one film. If he ever does an actual Batman film, just do the one and just.
He should learn Mission Impossible. He only did the one. He did the one. He directed it. He didn't come back to direct the others, and it was great.
Huh, there you go.
So yeah, it's a collaboration.
I noticed that and was like, okay, yeah, that's enough. Just one. Thank you.
So it's a collaboration with them. And then the head writer on the show is Ed Brubaker, famous for doing a lot of comics, but I think his most famous one is Winter Soldier. That's the one people know him the most for. So they had like a decent team together for this. And then for whatever reason, Warner Brothers, even though they own DC and everything, they didn't want to distribute it. It was after the merger. I never learned why. I mean, they've been doing a lot of weird shit, Warner Brothers, since that whole merger. But this is one of the things they didn't want. So it went to Amazon, much like Merry Little Batman went to Amazon.
Yeah. I guess that was the beginning of it. Yeah. I mean, I guess that they would sell the show, so they would make some kind of money.
Yeah.
Off of it.
Yeah.
Or what kind of funds they made off of a sale like that.
But, I'm not sure the specifics. I think today Michael Crichton, the guy who wrote Jurassic Park and stuff, his daughter is like about to sue Warner Brothers because they're trying to do an ER reboot, and Michael Crichton created ER, and they're just not including her in anything. So Warner Brothers is just killing it, Frank. They're doing a great job.
Still waiting for that Batgirl movie.
Yeah, any day now, Batgirl will come out.
Okay. That's rough.
So yeah, so Bruce Timm, they apparently asked them like, "Hey, would you do a continuation of the animated series?" And he said no, which I think is smart. I don't think we need to continue the animated series. Really, I think we're good. There's enough of it. How do you feel?
Agreed.
I mean,
yeah, no. I mean, we had the animated series. I mean, as someone who's such a huge fan of that show from back in the day, I mean, that's our childhood. That's what we grew up with. So you really want to give the next generation something new and fresh and different, and it still has, the feeling and the ties back to it. You're still kind of in the 40s Gotham style, and it's something new for the next generation, pretty much, which I like. There's things that I like and there's things that I don't like, but at the end of the day, the animated series is that's my childhood. So
yeah, he apparently I was reading up, he didn't want to do that. And you're right. Like, we have Batman the animated series, Superman, Justice League, Batman Beyond. They brought Batman the animated series back a couple times, the Batman and Harley Quinn. I know there's a cameo of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill in the newest animated movie that came out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I feel like we have enough, but he was like, "Hey, this is a chance for me to do something a little bit more adult." And he apparently had some ideas from back in the day that he wasn't able to pull off because it aired on Fox Kids and WB.
Yeah, so he wanted to go a little darker.
Yeah, he wanted to go a little darker. He wanted to really fit into that 40s aesthetic.
Yeah.
40s aesthetic, it's not trying to be accurate to the 40s. A lot of people are complaining about stuff in this show, and sometimes I'll agree with them, but then they'll bring up that's not like the 40s. I'm like, yeah, well, people dressed up like bats isn't like the 40s either, and ghosts aren't the 40s. Like, all right, fucking relax.
Well, technically, ghosts aren't any really type of time frame if you want to.
I guess so.
I'm just upset nobody said, you see, I see.
Yeah, they're not really talking like the 40s. They just wanted the look. So it came out a few weeks ago, and sure enough, everyone started complaining about it on Twitter. Right away, they were like, woke, this, that. I'm like, all right, is it really bad, or are they just cherry picking? And that's what we're going to find out today. Frank, did this show ruin Batman? Let's find out.
Oh God! See, I don't think it ruined it, Tony. But yeah, let's dive on in.
No, you're supposed to save that for the end, Frank. God.
All right. I don't know, Tony. Did it ruin Batman?
You've already ruined. You've ruined the episode, Frank.
Buried the lead. Well, whoa. We still want to know if it ruined it for you, Tony.
Yeah. Now you put more pressure on me, Frank. I already had the good microphone. Now I have to supply the whole reason for why. God damn it, Frank.
See, I think that either way, right? Even if they ran with, picked it right back up with the animated series, or they didn't like this, either way, people would have had a problem with it. They would have jumped on it and we bashed it a little bit. So, just kind of, it's Batman, we're getting more Batman. You should enjoy it for what it is.
And I'll bring up more Batman after we talk about this first episode, but season 1, episode 1, In Treacherous Waters, a series of explosions rocks Gotham. Batman finds himself in the middle of a turf war between rival crime boss Rupert Thorne and the Penguin. Meanwhile, Commissioner Gordon and his daughter Barbara look for a way to fix Gotham's corrupt criminal justice system from inside.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have early years Batman looking like he did in his first appearance. No gauntlets, just little gloves.
Yeah.
They should have been purple gloves, I feel like. Yeah, the big ears that shoot out to the side.
Gets me every time.
What's his name? Hamish Linklater, whatever. Does his voice. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff, but he was the priest in Midnight Mass. Have you ever watched that Netflix show?
I love all those series that what's the guy's name?
Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, I mean every Halloween I love those shows.
I need to see his newest one. I keep forgetting to see it. I really liked him in Midnight Mass. I think he's a very charismatic actor. He can go real dark. He's got a really great voice. I didn't dig his Batman voice though.
Well, I mean, I think it's the change between the two. Like there's moments where it really fits, and there's a piece in a later episode. I think it's like episode 5 where he really switches like right there on the spot between Bruce Wayne and Batman. And I mean, when you it's not great. It's more of like a whisper, but I mean, I dig it for the character and what it is. It's just it's fresh and new, but it's not again, it's not my Kevin Conroy. So.
I know it didn't take me out, and I'm not like a Kevin Conroy. Like I love Kevin Conroy. Obviously, we all did. No, but there are when he was still alive, there were assholes where anytime anyone got cast as Batman, they're like, "Why wasn't it Kevin Conroy?" It's like other people can do it too. It's fine. I really liked what's his face, the guy who played Gordon on Gotham. We talked about it. He voiced Batman in year 1, and I thought he did a great job.
Ben McKenzie, he did a great.
Diedrich Bader is a really good Batman actor. He plays a different character in this, but I really like Diedrich Bader.
Which now when I hear his voice, it always comes off like comedic. Like his Harvey Dent is great, but I'm still like laughing a little bit about it. Like,
he has to be comedic Batman. No one's gonna take Diedrich Bader seriously as like a serious Batman. But I'm glad he was in there. So a lot of people were complaining about the redesigns, but some people revealed that they didn't know much about the early comics, which is fine. They were complaining about Alfred being fat.
Ooh,
they're like, what the disrespect of Alfred being fat? And these are all probably people who love Tim Burton's Batman, who had a fat ass Gordon. But they saw that one,
Think of all the pennyworths that we've had in every single type of media of Batman comics and films and animated shows. Like it's something fresh and new. I mean, the guy might have been jacked when he was younger and then just lost all the muscle and it turned into fat.
Well, Frank, it's not super new. That's what he looked like in his early appearances.
Hey, right back to the beginning, baby.
He also was like, I think he was kind of like a bumbling idiot early on. They don't do that version of him. They just do he's just a heavy set dude. The Batman is only in like his first few years here. I love that since they went with the 40s aesthetic, there's like no high-tech shit in the cave. He literally has just filing cabinets in the cave. Yeah. There's no computer or anything. Like, all right, I kind of like that. I kind of like the scaled back tech.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, at one point he's using like a FM AM radio to just to pump bugs on people. Like, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, I enjoy it. He's very analog Batman. I really like that.
Yeah, it also shows that he's got to have the smarts and the wits to be a good detective during the 40s. Like, it's a lot harder of a time to get things right and catch some criminals.
We meet the Gordons. Woke. No, I'm kidding. Well, Matt Reeves is a producer, and he basically did the same. He did the same thing for the Batman. I wasn't super into this Gordon, but I think that's because the show was more interested in making Barbara a more compelling character. All right, so they did this in the Lego Batman movie, and I know Arkham Knight, she kind of works with the police. I haven't read comics steadily since like 2008. And when I was reading Batman comics, she was still Oracle. She wasn't like Barbara Gordon or Batgirl at that time.
Yeah.
Do modern Batgirls work for the police department? Because I'm starting to see this as like a thing now.
I mean, they've done it. I mean, also in a media for TV and Titans, she was a cop.
Yeah, she did work for the police department. Yeah. I guess that's like a newer thing from the comics that I'm not aware of.
But the difference here is that she's never been Batgirl.
No.
As we kind of talked, later on through the episodes, I do have some thoughts of where she is going. As she gets closer to to Batman, and then also trying to understand whether she can do what she needs to do as just being a cop or not.
I think she's gonna have that same arc that what's his face, Joseph Gordon-Levitt had in The Dark Knight Rises, the best Batman movie. I was in that movie. I don't know if you.
Hey, hold on, wait,
there it is.
There it is, right there. Yep.
Yeah. You have the best Batman movie with the best Batman cartoon, and then like the worst Batman thing ever. I don't know why you would have that up.
Live action Batman, right there.
Okay, Frank's last episode. I just realized your shirt says Bat Dad.
It does. I was gonna bring my son on, but he is currently getting.
No, don't do that. I'm pretty sure me doing the unboxing videos with my nieces is what got the Castzilla channel taken off YouTube. Never have a baby on this channel ever.
Well, I did it. All right, he's busy. He's doing his taxes.
When the kid is 18, he can be on the channel to talk about whatever Batman thing is happening then. But until then...
I said the same thing about acting. If he wants to be an actor, he's waiting until he's 18.
Yeah, so like I think she's gonna have the same arc as him, where he's trying to be like a by the rules cop, but like the system's so broken. So she'll probably end up being Batgirl. I will say, they don't go too much. There is an episode later where they touch a little bit on Batman's origin, but they don't, as far as I can tell, they don't really show they do the aftermath of the shooting, but they don't show him falling into the well or any of his training. Maybe that's something they can reveal later on, because the animated series, we talked about that in Mask of the Phantasm. That was the first time we got like an origin for the animated series. All the other episodes were like, he met a ninja that trained him, and we got a few flashbacks. He met a magician that trained him. So I feel like they're going to do that in the future, just little hints of his past.
Plus, with the animated series, I mean, being early 90s and not a lot of Batman media out there, I mean, I'm shocked that they didn't dive into an origin story through it.
Yeah.
But then by this point, with the Caped Crusader, I mean, it's been done so many times that you don't need it. But
you don't really need it.
That episode with the young Bruce Wayne, talking to Pennyworth and all that. I mean, that was
I want to talk about that. That episode felt oddly placed in the season. But so they made some changes to characters, but Penguin's great. Penguin's spot on. Nothing wrong with Penguin. The next episode. So they got Minnie Driver to play Oswaldo Cobblepot. This really was driving people nuts, Frank.
Was it really?
Yeah. So for me, I'm just like, let me see the execution. By the way, Batman is turning like 85 this year. These are very old characters. They've been reinterpreted so many times. I'm fine with them making changes once in a while for like a new series or a new continuity, just to change things up. I'm fine with it as long as the execution's okay. I
think it's 87.
I
think it's 87, by the way.
87 years? Jesus.
Right? No. 1927 was the first comic.
Hold on. Batman 80. I think it's
May.
It's 85th anniversary. It's 85th anniversary.
Is it really? Wow.
Are you going to get the popcorn bucket that does the bat signal?
37. It's 1937.
Yeah.
They're putting. Am I going to get the what?
They're putting a couple Batman movies in theaters on the 20th, but I think I'll be at the drive-in. Anyway, I actually enjoyed Oswaldo Cobblepot. She acted like the Penguin, but they added the whole thing where she's like an evil mom. I kind of loved it. What did you think of Oswaldo?
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole thing. Plus with I think I like the kids dynamic the most. love Minnie Driver. You know, I mean, she's got a great voice for it. I think that she fit perfectly. You know, you want to switch it up and do something different with these characters, so it's not the same old, same old. Plus, we've gotten Penguin so many times in all these different shows and video games and all that. So
Yeah,
go ahead, give me something new. But I love the kids aspect. I thought that was hilarious.
yeah, the kids were. I thought she was going to be a bigger part of the series, and she's not after this. And I actually really enjoyed her. I didn't know what to think going in. I was annoyed first up. Well, okay, when we're talking about different versions of the Penguin, one, a lot of the people complaining probably love Danny DeVito's Penguin, which we pointed out in our review is like legit not the Penguin. It's like, yeah, this other than the fact that it's a woman with kids is a little bit more on brand for Penguin. But also, we're about to get the Penguin show with Colin Farrell. So people getting upset about this, it's like, yeah, but guys, you got like another Penguin thing on the way. Fucking
all this Penguin coming out. Yeah, no, I agree. But then, you know, you also, you know, to go against that, you have the Penguin show coming out, and people have a vision of what Penguin is. So now they get mad when they don't see exactly what that is also on their screen.
But the Penguin show is annoying me like Gotham did because they have Sophia Falcone, and once again they got a like tiny skinny girl to play her. I'm like, Sophia Falcone is a big beefy broad, and then they made Penguin a big beefy broad. But I'm like, but you have a big beefy broad. Stop hiring really thin skinny girls to play her.
Big things come in small packages, man. Plus, she is an outstanding actress, dude. Like, I mean, the end of you know, How I Met Your Mother. No spoilers there, but a little rough. But you know, I mean, I was on set of that for a day, and
of what?
Of the Penguin.
Oh, you're fine. You're revealing that?
Didn't we do that already?
No, I thought you were keeping a lid on that.
No, we did it already. We joked about it, whether I end up in it or not. No,
we talked about it in person. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but yeah, if you want to drop that bomb, drop it right now.
Well, we're only a couple weeks away. Yeah.
Don't spoil what happened in the scene, but yeah, talk about the Penguin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get sued to the rest of my life. I don't know how any of that works. But yeah, I was around set for a couple days. And she is Christina
Milioti, I think.
Milioti. She is the kindest person in the world. It was very brief. Said hello to her, and very nice. But yeah, she is a lot shorter than you would think that she is. When you see her in person. But I mean, it'll be awesome to see her on screen and how she plays this role and how she brings it all to life. So, but yes, there is a possibility that I might be in more of a Batman piece of media more than the King of Dark Knight Rises over here.
Oh, I'm putting in the poll. Are you excited to see Frank in the Penguin? Maybe.
Also,
remember, go ahead. Famously, Frank shot a scene for Joker 1, didn't get in it.
No. And my face would have been right freaking there too. Oh yeah, nope.
I mean, can't relate. Can't relate to being cut from Batman things, Frank. My thing got in the movie.
And you know what? Every time I watch Rises, I'm like, there he is. There he is. But yeah, so it was a very brief thing. So I don't know or not, but you know, it's pretty cool. It's exciting. When you see Colin Farrell on set. It was the most crazy thing that I've ever seen on one of these movie sets before, because when Colin Farrell walked in, you would think that they hired a guy that looked like this, that you know was that big and balding and spoke like that. He was in the accent. The whole set was like turned down to like 30 degrees, 40 degrees just to cool the set because he was saying all of this. But yeah, it's insane to see him in person. And then when they would yell cut, he would speak, you know, in his regular accent, and like just looked into him like, holy shit, Colin Farrell's in there. Like you wouldn't believe it. That's how amazing you know, these makeup artists are, and also Colin Farrell as an actor. It was incredible.
There you
go. I hope I don't get sued for any of that.
And then if the show comes out and Frank's not in it, feel free to call him a liar. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, Frank is going to be in it. And I'm not, Frank, I just want to let everyone know, I'm not going to spoil that you're a gender swap Poison Ivy. I'm not going to spoil that you're playing Poison Ivy. I'm not going to do that. I want that to be a surprise. When they see the gender.
Tony.
when they see Patrick Isley on screen and it's you, I want the audience to be surprised. So I'm not spoiling that. Anyway,
I feel like you should be Irish.
This was a fun episode to get started off on. I love that she is going after Rupert Thorne, and Batman stops her, but like Batman kind of overdoes his job because then there's like a power vacuum and Rupert Thorne gets like all the power, so he realizes like, oh, I screwed up. I should have done this a little differently. So he's still learning.
Kind of kicks everything up into motion here.
Yeah. I just like that the Iceberg Lounge is actually on a boat this time, which I thought was fun. And she's got like a giant umbrella cannon, which I thought was pretty on brand for like the goofier comics.
Umbrella cannon was
shooting rockets into Gotham. I thought that was cool.
Best line of the episode was, "It's not a yacht party until someone falls overboard."
Yeah. And and it doesn't doesn't work on Barbara, then he tries it on someone else.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, that was actually fun seeing how he acts like Bruce Wayne to get into high society stuff and take on some criminals and whatnot. So yeah, really good. Again, I was won over by Oswalda, and I was sad that she wasn't in the rest of the season, but she could be in future seasons. Everyone needs to stop crying about it. Next up, season 2, and be a villain. When a glamorous movie star disappears, Batman and Detective Montoya find themselves tangled up in the dark web of a mysterious avenger haunting the sound stages. And of course, this is Clayface, Basil Carlo. They went with first appearance Clayface. They went with that whole brand. How do you feel about Clayface? Because I feel like if your exposure to Clayface was the 90s animated series, it's hard to get into any other version of Clayface. How do you feel about Clayface?
I mean, I've been saying for a couple of years now that if we ever, if we get a live action Clayface, I think that they can do it in the Batman Part 2. But I've said that I want it to be more of a fantastical element, which this kind of it brings in kind of that fantastical kind of magical feeling to it, because you can't really mold your own face by your hands and all that. Like I mean, a lot of plastic surgery, but you won't be able to change it back after. But I mean, I'm really big on the pile of mud or the pile of clay, Clayface.
Yeah, I think that came out like after Terminator 2, so they were like, we're gonna basically make him the T-1000, but he's just gonna be a giant clay monster. This goes with the more traditional Clayface. I mean, the cartoon Clayface was so popular that I think they worked it into the comics. But yeah, so he like molds his face. This is a fun little murder mystery. Unless you're a really big Batman nerd, because you already know who the killer is and where it's going.
It's a big Renee Montoya episode.
Yes, Renee Montoya, who they made very thick. I was like, what's going on here? Why are they so thick?
Oh, she looks good, man. She looks good.
I mean, if you're into thick Latinas, I'm all for it, but she's usually not drawn like that or cast like that. That's why I was taken by surprise. Like, wow, those are very broad shoulder pads that she has on that jacket there.
I mean, dude, she comes off as the toughest cop there, so she's not crooked, Bullock and Flask, and she's got to stand up for herself if she's going out there all alone. So yeah, man, put a little muscle to her, and you watch her stand up for herself.
Yeah, and I like Montoya was in it because I think that she does stem from the TV show, I believe, right? She came from the animated series.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that was her first appearance. We also, I think in this episode, we get Bullock and Flask. Bullock is a straight up bad guy in this. He always towed the line, but in this one, he's a legit bad guy. Flask,
he's the only one that looks the same from the animated series.
They just added a mustache, and that was it. Whereas Flask looks completely different, but they always make Flask look different, I feel like, so I didn't really care. So yeah, fun little murder mystery. Basil Carlo is obsessed with a woman. He's killing people. He fakes his own death, and they realize he took an experimental drug to make him all Clayfacey. and Batman has to stop him. But this is more of a Renee Montoya episode. It's more of like an ensemble. It's basically like everyone's early adventures, not just Batman's.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting.
I kind of like that about the series, though. I mean, you want a full series about just Batman, but I mean, some of these episodes are, he's hardly in it, and if he is, he's coming in kind of from the shadows. You don't see how he got there, why he got there. He's just also including himself into the mix. So it's cool to see a Montoya episode and have her investigating this on her own. So it shows you what's really going on in Hollywood.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, fun little episode. It feels like if you've read, and I have like collections of them, very early Batmans, they were like little murder mysteries, crime mysteries, like who did, oh, it's that guy. And then the villains got so popular that they were just like, it's the Riddler again. It's the Joker again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and back to your point, it's great to see Clayface in there again. I thought I'd rather, when I was watching it, I thought that he was going to morph, like full body, like morph with the clay and all that. And then, it shows up at the end that he's just pushing on his face really hard.
And I like, because again, this is the 40s aesthetic. I like that they were trying to make like all the movies he was making look like old school horror films, like the Universal monsters. But then like, they have the Pit and the Pendulum, which was an old Vincent Price movie. He's very Vincent Price or Lon Chaney, older and junior. It felt like a very old Hollywood kind of feel. So I dug that. Yeah, I really dug that. I really dug that.
Hollywood, man. I mean, I love watching shows like that, and when they include bits like that, you kind of get that feeling through this whole series too. There's
and his story is relatable because they talked about how like his look, he just looked so menacing he couldn't get other roles, which happened with a lot of those actors. I think Boris Karloff got off okay, but like Bela Lugosi couldn't change his accent and he had very piercing eyes. There were a lot of like horror actors who were like, well, you're the monster. It's like, but I want to do other roles. Like, no, you're the monster.
Not everybody could be a Rock Hudson, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem I'm having right now. I'm right back in the gym. I'm trying to lose this baby weight a little bit.
Yes, because you gained baby weight. Oh man,
I've been helping out.
Next up, season 1, episode 3, Kiss of the Catwoman. After her multi-millionaire father goes to prison, leaving her strapped for cash, thrill-seeking dilettante Selena Kyle turns to a life of crime as the daring Catwoman. Evading the law at every turn, Batman hatches a plan to end her crime spree, while two renegade police detectives intend to see that she uses up all her 9 lives in one fell swoop. I'm always a sucker for a Batman Catwoman story. I really enjoyed the Catwoman part of this episode. I think it was very well done. It's like her earlier stuff, so they're not doing the Falcone as her father thing. She's more just like a troublemaker, which I thought was fun. They gave her the purple dress and green cape.
Nice. Yeah, a little bit spoiled. She was born with money and now she's losing it, so now she's kind of panicking a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of like that interpretation, because all interpretations we've had since like I think the 80s is like she came from nothing and she was owed stuff and she's taken for herself. And this one's like, I like the whole, I'm just a spoiled lady and I want to continue living my lifestyle.
Yeah, she comes on to Bruce Wayne right in the beginning, like, oh, he's got money, what's going on with him? Plus it's Christina Ricci with the voice, so that's always,
Christina Ricci. I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's actually not bad. Back in the day, that would have been great, like live action casting.
Yeah, she was a great Catwoman.
Oh no, she was a very, very fun Catwoman. I believe, there we go there. So this introduces Harley Quinn, or Harleen Quinzel. And Batman or Bruce Wayne, early on, they're at a jewel exhibit, and I think someone mocks his mother and he loses his temper. You think Batman would be a little bit better at keeping his emotions in check?
He is playing Bruce Wayne a little bit there. So to punch someone in public is, I mean, A, he probably really wanted to, as him himself on the inside, and then B, he's also like, well, Bruce Wayne could fly off the hinges here, and and we can run with that. So
he punches a guy and he's forced to do court mandated therapy sessions with Harleen Quinzel. My problem with this though, it's like I like all the Catwoman stuff. And I like all the flashbacks to like the night his parents got killed and how he dealt with it afterwards and the post-traumatic stress. But like the whole point of those flashbacks are like, I need to punish criminals because I'm angry. And I'm like, I feel like these flashbacks of this subplot should have been teamed up with a bigger, more threatening villain, not just the lady who's having fun stealing stuff. Because he's like, you see young kids like, I'm gonna make them all pay, and then he's like, stop stealing diamonds and having fun. I'm like, I don't think these two worked. I don't think these two worked.
Is that this episode where they do the origin?
Yeah, it's the therapy episode.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. No, when he comes into this whole episode I know that it's like 24, 26-minute episode, so it all has to be, kind of tucked in real quick, and then they kind of rush through it all. But I mean, there's moments to it, like you're saying with the origin, where it's like it's very just cut and dry, very like, these 2-3 quick scenes in there put in, and him walking into Alfred's room, just they're all gonna and you're gonna help me. Like imagine
you're gonna help me.
Alfred
doesn't just like hit him and tell him to shut up.
He's like, oh shit, dude, I'm not sleeping tonight.
We find out Alfred was there the night that they got shot. He was like at the car waiting for them, which I think is usually left out. And we know that Bruce Wayne doesn't know what the killer looked like. I think he mentions he just doesn't know what he looks like. Yep. So I don't think it's Joe Chill, or maybe it is Joe Chill. Maybe they'll do that storyline, but they're probably going with the whole he never found out who it was.
Yeah, again, they didn't dive in, so they could do whatever they want if they do want to go back to it.
Yeah,
and, I mean, also with it being kind of quick, chopped up episode, I think that it was still a great episode, but I think it was one of my least favorite episodes. I think through the whole show. I mean, Catwoman wanted a costume, so all of a sudden, do we have a sewing machine? Boom, costume, and then
I like
the car.
that.
Oh, I need a car, and then boom. All right, let's go fix up the car, and then boom. I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. I like every episode with it. I think it was my least favorite.
Yeah. Not my least favorite. I have a least favorite episode.
Do you?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Harley Quinn in a little bit for her episode, but this whole setup here, so she's not the Joker's girlfriend as far as we know, has no relationship with the Joker. Her character kind of felt like the one that was done in the Birds of Prey TV show. Do you remember the old Birds of Prey TV show? It only lasted one season.
I have images of it. I couldn't tell you.
Mia Sara, the actress from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, whatnot, she played Harley Quinn in that show. And that story, Joker was locked in jail. No one knows that Harleen Quinzel is Harley Quinn. And she was like the therapist for Helena Kyle, the Huntress. And she had like ulterior motives and stuff. So I felt like that this version of the show is very derivative of that, because they've been trying to change Harley Quinn for a while. She got too popular and they're like, wait, she's like a brainwashed like bimbo. That doesn't fit in with modern stuff. We got to fix it.
Harley Quinn, that there's way too much of her out there right now. I mean, I guess you could say the same for Batman, but like the whole, it's there is a lot of Harley Quinn going on out there right now. So
and I wanted to say, but again, if people were mad at this version of Harley Quinn, I wanted to say, well, she has her own show, but they ruined her own show, setting her up with Poison Ivy killed that show for me.
Have you seen Kite Man? Hell yeah, dude.
That I would want to check out. So I really liked Poison Ivy and Kite Man's relationship. It felt very organic. But the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy relationship felt so forced. I didn't even bother with the last season. I'm like, I'm good. But I might check out the Kite Man episode, the Kite Man show.
That whole universe is so good.
Yeah, the first like 2 seasons of Harley Quinn are great. I suggest everyone check those out. But yeah, fun little Catwoman episode. I had fun with it. Just the A plot and the B plot didn't jive together well for me. Next up, season 1, episode 4, The Night of the Hunters. When Mayor Jessup assembles a task force to catch Batman, Detective Montoya is put in charge. Detective Flass and Bullock take matters into their own hands in an attempt to trap Batman, putting Gotham in a fiery jeopardy. This whole plot line of them faking crimes to draw out the Batman was done in Batman Year One, the Batman Year One comic.
Yeah.
There's that whole section of the comic where like the one girl is like pretending to get arrested, and Batman's just like, yeah, they're trying this again, but I'm on to them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So yeah,
it was a good laugh through. Yeah,
so I like that, but I like that what's called Bullock and Flash. They're like, I know what we'll do. We'll transfer a prisoner, and I love that they're like, oh man, that trunk is broken. Anyone could open into it. Oh, we should stop. Like basically letting Firebug know, like, you can get out and steal your stuff and go back to burning things. Apparently, there are two different characters called Firebug and Firefly, and they both do fire stuff. And the show made fun of it because they call him Firefly. And he's like, it's Firebug, but he's dressed kind of like newer Fireflies. I thought that was funny.
I didn't even think that. Huh. Yeah, I mean, dude, this episode's dark. Like, dark. When he first walks up to the apartment building and like sees like the kids that are like flames and stuff like dancing around, I was like, oh man, that's like when you really got the feeling that this series was like getting a little bit darker than the animated series, not so much just for kids, but for adults to enjoy as well. But, yeah, it got crazy.
I really liked it. I liked their whole plan of like letting him out, and then it gets out of control. Gordon has to like go in there and try to stop it. He doesn't want all the other cops in. Batman's trying to stop him. And then I love that at the end of the day, fucking Flash and Bullock, they save the day. And like the mayor's like, hey, I want them to take control now of the whole Batman task force.
Oh man, dude, these guys, they just kind of look at each other, forget what they say, but yeah, they just, I mean, there's still a look on Bullock's face where he's kind of like iffy about pulling that trigger, but he still does. So we're like, maybe there's still some good in there that they're trying to play with, but
that's the thing. Bullock is always the one doing the real dirty work, while Flash just kind of instructs him.
Which you get jokes through the whole series about, you know, everyone's like, who was it? Harvey Dent that was like, all right, go work, everybody. You're all great cops, except for you, Harvey.
Yeah, everyone's kind of on to that these two aren't on the level. But I like the episode. It's actually one where the bad guys technically win or get away with the crime. And it's also showing like the corruption in the police department. That's one of the things Batman has to deal with. So yeah, it was a fun little episode with Firebug, and they made Firebug just legit crazy.
I mean, they're kind of just, you know, messing with a dude who has a really bad mental illness there. And,
have they ever had in a comic where all the ice-powered villains try to fight all the heat-powered villains? So like Firebug, Firefly versus like Captain Cold, Mr. Freeze, Killer Frost. I want to see that. I want to see those guys go after each other.
What have they done that in? Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm sure they've all teamed up at some point, but
yeah, they've had to have done it.
Yeah. So cool episode. Next up, the stress of her regard. This is the Harley Quinn episode. Someone is kidnapping and brainwashing rich, powerful men in Gotham, and Batman must find out who and why. When Barbara Gordon begins to suspect that one of her friends may be involved in the abductions, her investigation puts her on a collision course with the Dark Knight. I kind of like what they're doing with Harley Quinn in this. She's just brainwashing dudes and ruining their therapy, but it's also an excuse to get King Tut from the 60s TV show. So she's like brainwashing rich people to get all their wealth, but make them think that they're like crazy. Like this guy thinks he's King Tut. Which
when we opened with King Tut, I was like, are we going to have a King Tut episode right now? And then it was like, oh, not really. I was like, okay, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, people were hating on this Harley Quinn. When it comes to like her characterization, we're in a weird era with the Harley Quinn character is only like 30 something years old. So there's going to be a phase where they experiment and change things. So people were upset that they changed a little too many things with Harley Quinn to stop fans from losing their shit. They changed her whole MO, and then they made her Asian, and then they changed the color of her costumes. It's like, guys, just do one of those things. Do one of those things, and fans won't bitch as much.
Well, I mean, either way, like I said earlier,
I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
But
no,
the
I
guys,
agree with you. Yeah.
the guys on
People
the
are gonna
internet
pitch
who
either
make
way.
a living just calling everything woke, this is something they gravitate towards. I'm like, if you just
Yeah.
change one thing, they wouldn't have cared.
I know you don't care when we joke about the wokeness, but I mean, yeah, either way, people are gonna, rip it apart and hate something about it. Even if they did a regular Harley Quinn here, people still would have, picked something apart. But I mean, she's still an anti-hero. I mean, I'm not thrilled about, what they kind of did with her there. I mean, I'm back to the classics, the animated series where, I love seeing her with Joker and that whole dynamic of, he hates her but loves her, and she just kind of drags along with her and then wants to do her own thing. I love it. But I mean, still kind of like a cool anti-hero here, and has all the slaves in her dungeon, and
she dressed the one guy up like Pagliacci, the famous sad clown, which also the 60s TV series, I think Joker, when he was introduced, was disguised as Pagliacci. So there's fun little references there.
And the Dark Knight, that's the first mask that he takes off.
Yes. They also established, because Harley Quinn is lesbian now, she was trying to like have a relationship with Renee Montoya. You can tell she actually really liked her, but like it's obviously not gonna work because she's a crazy lady.
I mean, that whole thing with her and Renee and Barbara, them all being best friends. I mean, it helps the show, kind of move forward and brings the characters all together, which was good. But yeah, it was an interesting dynamic. So yeah, I'll take it.
I had no problem with this. I thought it was fun. Yeah, it's not regular Harley Quinn. Doesn't really look like her, but I'm like, that was a fun story, just brainwashing people. And again, as one of the 5 people who watched that old Birds of Prey TV show, it's not good, Frank. You're not missing much. I did kind of like that with her because that was an older Harley Quinn who kind of got into her own groove, and she was just using therapy to make criminals and fuck with heroes. So I kind of like seeing that done again in this show.
And maybe I'll check it out one day. I like the hammer. I like the hammer that she brings out, that one of the guys uses. And then I also like that the big baby guy needs to eat his pudding or finish his pudding.
Yeah. She is there dressed like giant babies and shit.
And it's like, no more pudding, which was kind of, cool little callback to what she calls the Joker. So, I kind of like all that. And then there's also kind of a scene here with Batman and Barbara where she goes in to save him. Sees what she's doing. No, right? Yeah. Barbara goes in to save
Batman
him.
gets trapped in one of the things, and Harley Quinn has the whole house set to blow up. So Barbara's trying to save him, and she has an opportunity to leave. I do like that Harley Quinn. I mean, she's crazy, but she's not like super ruthless. She's like, oh, I'm going to blow up all those rich guys that I don't like and Batman. But when she realized Barbara's there, she's like, we got to turn around. I got to save Barbara.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's kind of where at the end of this episode, Batman starts kind of bossing Barbara around a little bit, saying like, you should have got out or whatever it was. And Barbara just looks at him like, shut up. And you start to see that kind of dynamic of like Batgirl and Batman, and that, she's going and doing her own thing, but like working together. Like this is what really kicks off, I think, her starting to get on the Batman side. So it was cool. Yeah.
And again, Harley Quinn thinks she's doing it for good reason. She's targeting like the wealthy assholes and whatnot. But I think next, we need more King Tut. I mean, that's what the fans were coming for, Frank. This episode started and I went King Tut episode. I'm in. I hope Maxie Zeus shows up next.
I said, oh no.
Next up, Night Ride. This is where the series takes a turn. We had a little bit of sci-fi. The series takes a very weird detour here. Night Ride, after a series of robberies, hold on one second. I want to get the cast list up because the actor who played the ghost, I like him. After a series of robberies in Gotham, Batman wrestles with the possibility that the culprit might be from beyond the grave. Meanwhile, Harvey Dent's morality is tested when a generous campaign donation comes in the most nefarious source. Yeah, Harvey Dent is not like a shining white knight in this show. He's kind of like morally gray throughout. And in this one, he the gentleman ghost like embarrasses him, and it starts to hurt his campaign. And he ends up getting help from the crime boss Rupert Thorne, who Rupert Thorne was played by Cedric Yarbrough, the guy from Reno 911. That blew my mind.
Great voice, dude. I had no idea. Yeah, I had to look it up after as well. He sounds fantastic.
So yeah, Gentleman Ghost is a character. He's a DC Comics character. He's not even like a Batman character. Here he is in some Hawkman comics.
This was crazy. The whole episode, I was like, wow, okay, they're really diving into this ghostly aspect. I was like,
I was like, okay, they're doing the whole crime mystery stuff. There's Diedrich Bader does Harvey Dent. Diedrich Bader, who usually does Batman, does Harvey Dent. So they're doing this whole crime mystery thing. And I'm thinking, because everything so far has been pretty grounded, I'm thinking it's going to be like Scooby-Doo. Like, how does he do these ghost effects? Does he use a flashlight and whatever mirrors and whatnot?
That's what I thought as well.
But when Papa Midnight showed up from the Constantine comics, I went, oh no, they're really doing a ghost. This is a real ghost.
Which I love. I love that. I love the fantastical aspect. Yeah, let's do it.
Which I love too. And they waited a couple episodes to get to it, much like the comics waited a couple issues. And they're like, what if he fights a monster? Who cares?
Let's not jump the shark yet. Yeah.
There's there's Batman comics where he's like on Mars fighting aliens and shit. It happens. So yeah, that was fun that they're dipping into the mystical stuff. So then you're prepared for like Ra's al Ghul and all those other types of characters to show up.
Exactly. And you want to do like a street level thing, with cops and something normal with Two-Face or Catwoman. That's great. But then you also have this option to where it's like, let's go above and beyond here and start messing around with ghosts and a guy that, appears into a fireplace and then sucks back in and then he gets sucked into a little tube. It's like, that's awesome. I hope Papa Midnight comes back.
I hope he does.
Like what
would a 40s Constantine look like? Awesome. I do want to say they changed Gentleman Ghost a little bit. He's not wearing all white. He has a mask. I guess that was to make you think it was a real person. He's not in the comics. He's a top hat with a floating monocle. They changed his backstory. I'm blanking on what was his backstory? He was like a Gotham elite, but his family was shamed or something.
Yeah, and he was stealing from the poor, and
right.
I kind of researched him a little bit today, but he was stealing from the poor for himself, and that was a crazy episode altogether. I was like,
apparently he was like a founding family of Gotham, but they kind of like stripped the family from the record. And he's had run-ins with Papa Midnight. So they do a whole exorcism. Alfred gets possessed by Gentleman Ghost, which I thought was awesome.
Awesome. And then he's got a line here before they head to the house to go fight him. He said, "Heritage Hill, Pennyworth, don't spare the horses." I kind of like that while they're still driving them. That's like, don't spare the horses. That was kind of fun.
I do like that he's searching in Alfred's brain, and he says that there's like he's trying to keep a dark secret. We never learn what that is, I think. So I'm interested to see because we saw Alfred at the scene of the crime when Batman's parents get killed. Is there something that happened that night that we're not aware of? Kind of like, what was that?
It could be, connected to Gentleman Ghost being an elite back in the day and all that. I mean, it could be connected to the elites. Maybe Alfred knows that, these top families around Gotham wanted to take them out, and he's too afraid to tell Bruce now because now he doesn't know what he would do.
So, maybe. Or it's like the new Batman where Alfred was kind of aware that the Wayne's murder might have been motivated by like the crime families and whatnot, and not just a random act. However, that movie made it vague where like it was a hit or it was random. It doesn't settle on one or the other. But the fact that he hid the possibility from Bruce Wayne was the thing. I think maybe that's what they're doing. Toby Stevens voices the Gentleman Ghost. If you will have Netflix, he was the dad in Lost in Space, but he also was the star of Black Sails, He was Captain Flint in Black Sails. If you've never seen Black Sails, that is a great fucking pirate show. You wouldn't think that the novel Treasure Island needed a dark, gritty, violent, realistic prequel series, but I'm glad they did because it was fucking great. I think it's on Netflix right now. Definitely check it out. It's 3 seasons. It was awesome. The late Ray Stevenson was Blackbeard in it. It's such a good show.
Is that what it is? Treasure Island? I didn't know that.
It's a prequel to Treasure Island, yeah.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
Very, very good show. I loved it. And he's a very good actor. So yeah, very fun episode. They do the exorcism, they trap him so Batman can deal with ghosts, and maybe he'll fight a vampire one day. Who knows? Next up,
that was awesome.
Season 1, Episode 7, Moving Target. In the aftermath of a botched assassination attempt on Commissioner Gordon's life, Montoya vows to do everything in her power to protect Gordon. Batman's investigation into who was behind the hit leads him down a rabbit hole with only one clear answer: trust no one. So yes, Gordon gets attacked by Deadshot Floyd Lawton of all people, who's not a very good shot, it turns out.
Turns out, man. Well, because there's a better shooter in town, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. So he misses the shot. They bring him in for questioning. So yeah, someone is trying to kill Gordon. It's pretty obvious that it's Rupert Thorne and his buddies. So the whole episode is like, we got to save Gordon. We got to get him somewhere safe. And this was my least favorite episode. This was like, we're gonna have a bunch of lady girl bosses tell a man what he's doing wrong the whole episode. I'm like, all right, come on.
I mean, what was he doing? They were trying to talk him into, going to a safe house and protecting himself. And I mean, it came off, a little different and weird. But I mean, I'm glad they waited.
I'm glad they waited until episode 7 to go full girl power, girl boss. So to make sure that you were hooked at that point. So instead of turning it off, you just kind of roll your eyes like, all right, what's the next episode?
He had every shooter in town after him, dude. And then Onomatopoeia coins out, and they're like,
I was going to say, Onomatopoeia is there. And I like them. Like, how do we visualize onomatopoeia? Well, how do we do onomatopoeia in this version, this more grounded thing? And his whole thing is he's like, I'm just going to say sound effects. Dun, dun, dun. Boom, boom, boom.
You know who made him, right? It's Kevin Smith made the character not even that long ago, like a couple of years back. He first wrote for that character or created that character, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's cool to see newer characters being brought into new media and all that and showing off. Plus, I like the boom, ba, cha.
His scenes got me through the episode. I'm like, all right, I'm liking all these. Speaking of Kevin Smith, I forgot to mention at DabbleCon, I got to chill with Brian Johnson from Comic Book Men for a little bit.
Stop it, dude. Did you tell him I said hello?
No, I didn't. I did tell him though, because what's his face? Comedian Joe DeRosa went on his show, Tell Him Steve Dave, and he shouted out Hack Movies like a year ago. And Joe DeRosa was in our What is the Best Wolverine episode very briefly when we went around the convention interviewing people. We got Joe DeRosa in there. I'm trying to get him in studio for an episode, but that's how I felt. I knew about Tell Him Steve Dave because he does stuff with my friend Carl, which is why he was at DabbleCon. He calls it a Carl show all the time. But I told him, I'm like, hey man, I didn't realize so many of our fans overlap. Because like when people mentioned me, they were tagging him and everything, and then I posted my picture with him, and everyone's like, holy shit, I watched both of you guys. So what I'm saying is I gotta get Brian Johnson in here.
Get him on, man. And then maybe one day we get Kevin Smith on here, bro.
Yeah, I have to delete a couple episodes before we get Kevin Smith in here. I might have said some.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure. And then just to throw out there,
Kevin Smith stopped smoking weed, right?
He did. Yeah. He stopped smoking weed a couple years.
I think maybe that was a lot of the problem.
After he had the heart attack, he stopped smoking. I listened to him. I listened to a lot of their stuff and watch all their
videos, I think he started smoking weed after the heart attack. And then he did it too much. And I think he's off it.
I don't know. I thought he quit a couple of years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, but he was doing it a lot before that. As long as he's no longer setting up a webcam to film himself crying, I'm cool with Kevin Smith.
Oh, stop it, dude! I used to watch that. Like, he was. I mean, he's an emotional guy. Seems like.
I know, but it was a little weird.
Dude, I used to listen to his weekly reviews of The Flash on the CW. And yeah, man, he always used to say like how emotional it was. But dude, I mean, I was right there with him crying every week for those first 2-3 seasons, dude. I was
whoa, Frank. You're admitting to crying during Boys Month?
No.
Oh, Frank, this must be some of that great acting you do. You're clearly pretending to cry.
It is I, an actor.
Obviously, you wouldn't cry, and if you did, you wouldn't admit it publicly during Boys Month. What a great actor you are, Frank.
Yeah, it's exactly. We're good. Yeah. And then also it's episode 5. Mark Bernardin wrote, which is kind of cool. Which is one of my favorite episodes. It was not episode 5. Episode 6, the Gentleman Ghost.
Yeah.
The one we just.
I didn't look up the individual writers for everything. I probably should have. I just know the head writer was Ed Brubaker.
Yeah, I just know that.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole thing. Oh, the big twist is that Gordon accepts a bribe from Thorne. We find out that, or not Gordon, Harvey Dent does. We find out that it was Barbara Gordon that they were going after because she keeps trying to put Rupert Thorne's men away. And he doesn't like her. Which is why they were trying to he hired all these people to take him out, but of course Batman steps in and saves the day. I hope we get more onomatopoeia. I want more onomatopoeia.
Jim Gordon saves the day there at the end.
Yeah,
with the quick hip fire. Bang.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
After a bunch of broads nagging at him, he finally saved the day. Also, I love that this.
You think I need you, women?
I love that this calm, level-headed guy ended up being the bad dude. Also, we keep forgetting to mention, I think they might be blocked here. They're not outright saying it, but Superman, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen are kind of sprinkled throughout this show whenever there's like a press meeting. There are character models that look a lot like the Fleischer Superman models for Lois Lane and Superman. So I think that's pretty interesting that like they're hinting that he exists in this universe, but he's not. He's just in reporter mode. He's not in stopping crime mode there.
I wonder if they do it like they did in the 90s, man. Bring a Superman animated series and then bring them all together for a new Justice League coming soon. That would be cool.
I don't know if they'll do a Superman one because they're currently doing My Adventures with Superman, which is a really good show. I didn't watch the second season, but the first season was solid. I do want to mention that show a little bit later because I have one big criticism of this show in comparison to that.
Yeah, second season's awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. But it is second season. Like I
gotta like sit and binge it one day. Season 1, episode 8, Nocturne. When children start going missing at a Harvey Dent campaign event, Batman sleuthing into the underbelly of a local carnival, hosting it uncovers something far more sinister. So this episode stars McKenna Grace from the terrible Kid Ghostbusters movies, and she's in Haunting of Hill House. She was in one of the Annabelle movies. Good actress. She's like a young star that they're propping up now. She plays Nocturna, who is an energy vampire who looks like Wednesday Addams for a second. This is a character that I was not super familiar with. I don't know if you were familiar with this character, Nocturna.
She's like Natalia Knight from the comics, and like
that is her.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from what her power set is usually used to. Still has a brother named Anton who becomes Mr. Midnight Doctor or something like that. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, no, not very familiar with her. No.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I only got like 3 episodes into Batwoman and gave up, but apparently she showed up in the Batwoman show. I didn't make it that far. But yeah, she's kind of like her brother experimented on her and she turned into like an energy vampire that could be hurt by daylight. So the whole time Harvey Dent's doing this campaign thing at this carnival, this circus, and she's taking kids from an orphanage one by one and draining their life source. And all the kids are all future Robins, which I thought was pretty. I didn't get it at first. I'm like, oh, Dickie and Jace.
No,
I'm like, all right, I guess
as soon as Jason was like, you know, an ear perk, like you're like, okay, Jason, okay, they're both kids, and that kid does look like a Dick Grayson. And then as soon as he said Dickie, you're like, huh. And then they came on with Steffi and then Carrie, and you're like,
Carrie, and they're all Robins. I didn't until Jay said his name was Jason. I went, wait a minute, Jason and Dickie. I'm like, I know what they're doing.
I got this. I'm smart enough to get this.
So that was fun. So Batman and Harvey Dent have to go around looking for these kids. We get a Killer Croc cameo. He's one of the circus freaks, which is very on brand for that character. Yeah, it's a fun episode. Batman like tries not to kill the girl. He doesn't want her to die. He tries to save her because he feels bad. And at the end, the big takeaway here is that Rupert Thorne tells Harvey Dent he's got to get someone out of jail. And Harvey Dent's like, I can't do that. And he's like, no, we're going to get rid of some evidence. You're going to let him go. He's like, that's not going to work. Harvey Dent refuses to do it. And he gets a whole big thing of acid in his face.
Right in the face. Yeah. Right. I mean, again, this is like, I guess, you know, like the second darkest episode for this show. I mean, she's literally sucking souls out of, you know, like 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy, but the ending of it does bring me back to the Justice League Unlimited episode with Ace.
Which we talked about in our Mask of the Phantasm episode. I actually clipped that as the worst Batman retcon ever. But that scene is really good. The rest of the episode is weird, but that scene is really good with Ace. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the scene in this is I mean, it's not as good. You don't get as emotional through it, but I really like when they're walking back at the end and Carrie Kelly grabs Batman's cape and like she's holding his hand and they all walk back together. Like, that was a little cute for me. I was like, all right, I like this.
And he's looking at them. He's like, don't worry, I'll enlist you all into my crime fighting empire.
I mean, soon. What a setup. I mean, I guess when they all, you know, become Robins, which like I hope that they do, but it'd be really, I guess, a different dynamic and pretty cool to see them all come in at once now. So now you have all 4 of them running around the cave like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And then Batman's kind of looking around like, what have I gotten myself into? Alfred's like playing a babysitter or something. Like, it could be fun. It could be cool.
They left out Tim Drake and they left out Damian Wayne for obvious reasons. I understand why they left out Damian Wayne.
Wish we saw Tim.
What was that?
I wish we saw Tim a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta put him in there. Damian makes sense, but you gotta say Tim's name somewhere, right?
Yeah. They went with the 2 more obscure ones. Well, Carrie is in The Dark Knight Returns, which is very, very popular. But Steffi, I think, is a little bit more obscure. They've worked her into. She becomes Spoiler, I think, in the comics, and eventually is a Robin or was a Robin that turned into Spoiler or something. But anyway, next up, season 1, episode 9, The Killer Inside Me. After Harvey Dent's accident, both Batman and Bruce Wayne must work to stop the DA on his quest for the wrong sort of justice. So they change Two-Face up a lot in this. They give him just a regular acid burned face, which Two-Face will never make sense to me. How does his voice always sound normal?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
sure. Hey, Frank, how are you? I think this is a good episode we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you could have voiced him. I don't know why they didn't call you up. That was good.
I should do a whole episode like that. It doesn't make his mouth never makes sense to me.
All right, when you put it that way, but you know, when I'm suspending belief and I'm watching an animated TV, I guess the same thing happened in The Dark Knight. And I honestly, I'm a big, you know, whole purple side of his face with Tommy.
Well, I'm glad they went with acid, so they could have done the discoloration, but they decided not to.
A little over the top.
So they kind of make fun of it. So people forget, like, I feel like the version of Two-Face we all like, that's very serious, is a little bit animated series, but also The Long Halloween and Dark Victory, which was the Harvey Dent that was used for The Dark Knight. And people really like that version. But people forget early Two-Face was like, my face is burnt. I'm going to do crimes involving the number 2. And that's my thing. So that's what I got to do. If it's a crime that involves the number 2, I'm going to do it. And it's like, well, that really is kind of fucking stupid when you think about it.
And they definitely got better with the story writing.
So for this, he's going on like a revenge thing. He's going after the people who all wronged him. He doesn't kill all of them. He tries to. I think he only kills like a few. But early on, he's like, hey, should we do heads or tails to kill this guy? And he's like, no. And he's like, yeah, that's stupid. So how they did it was that he has we've seen him throughout the whole episode, the whole season being like morally gray, doing some good things, doing bad things, being conflicted. Now it's like both of those personalities are dialed up and he's switching back and forth between them, which I thought was cool. So when he's like killing people, he's like, I'm going to do this and this. And then afterwards, he's like, oh my God, I just killed that guy and that was wrong. And I'm I feel very, very guilty about all of this. I liked it. How did you feel about this interpretation of Two-Face? I was on board with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very the Dark Knight-esque. So, I mean, you have a guy who's, I mean, they really kind of bring it down to street level and not too far over the top. I mean, it's more so, he has, two different sides, the anger and the light, and they're both coming out like like you said, over the top on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I like this this version of Two-Face. I mean, it's a lot of when you have Two-Face in your TV show, it's a lot of like the split sides and the split decisions and the way that they shoot it and all that. Like the one when he's sitting in his office, his 2 windows aren't even. The one's like higher, the one's lower.
Yeah.
When he hits the his poster in the one episode, just like the one side kind of cracks and it doesn't crack on the other side of his face. And then I think it's the next episode, but he like holds up the gun and when he talks, it's like whichever side of his face is talking is being covered.
I thought it was cool.
I always enjoyed that. Like I always loved Two-Face coming in because you get a little kind of fun scenes like that. So I mean, him going into Rupert's house and trying to kill his kid and also lighting the guy on fire again. Dark show. I love it. I'm here for it.
Because a couple of the people he attacks don't die.
Yeah.
And then he lights that room on fire. So it's like, oh, those guys just got lucky.
But he's like, I don't want to kill you, but the other guy does.
Yeah.
Like,
he ends up like giving up because he is like full on justice mode too. And he feels guilty about what he's doing. I like him and Barbara's kind of relationship because they were kind of at odds the whole time. Yeah. She's like, hey, you're doing some shady stuff because you're like running for mayor. But I'm trying to be like a legit person here. And he realized, what was that?
Again, it's her trying to, understand how far she can go with the law. So now she's also getting, Harvey Dent coming in and what he's doing. And yeah, she doesn't want to kill anybody or hurt anyone. So she wants to stop him. But she's also seeing this as, like, how far do we have to go that, that these, certain cops won't do their job, or everyone's getting paid off, and Rupert Thorne's running the city. So now they see how easy Batman or Two-Face even gets into these criminal enterprises and takes them out from the inside. So she's starting to see these things, man. So she wants to save him, but it's also like maybe it's not a complete bad thing.
Yeah. She gives him his coin. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Cool. She gives him the coin. She's like, hey, because she ends up being his lawyer. Of all people, she ends up being his lawyer. She's like, how about we flip for it? Heads, I'm your lawyer. Tails, I'm not. And it turns out it was like the fake coin, which I thought was fun. So that was like, the episodes are kind of self-contained. Yeah, there it is there. The episodes are kind of self-contained, but the running story is Rupert Thorne manipulating Harvey Dent, who's running for mayor. That's the one that's running through all the episodes. So it builds up to that in the final episode.
how deep the mob is into running Gotham, and how far Gotham's really gone, and who has the balls anymore to stand up and do what's right. So you're setting up, Jim Gordon and Barbara, and then Batman coming in and working together. I love, like, I'm really happy that we have a series like this, to where now it's, we're running through, and everything's connected, and you have your side stories and all that. Because back in the day, you go to watch the animated series, and the 90 or the 80 episodes, or 100, whatever it is, you go and watch them, and it's, you want them to feel connected, like you want some kind of, bridge through them, and it's like it all semi does, but there's really there's no connection of coming together with any of that. So so it's good to have it. I like it.
I like it. So yeah, that all leads up to Savage Night. In the season finale, the attempt of Barbara Gordon and Batman to keep Harvey Dent safe until he testifies in court leads to an all-out war between Gotham's heroes and villains. So everyone's trying to gun for Harvey Dent. Rupert Thorne is sending all his dudes to kill Harvey Dent so he doesn't testify against him. And like I said, Barbara Gordon is his lawyer. I do like him in Arkham. Arkham is very white, padded cell Arkham. It's not like dingy Arkham. I'm hoping one day they do the whole remember Arkham Asylum, the comic?
Yeah.
Where they were like, that one therapist is like, I got him off the coin. Now I gave him a deck of cards that each represent a decision. But like he can't make a decision in time. He's like, he keeps peeing his pants because he can't decide if he needs to go to the bathroom, and like fucks him up. I want to see something like that in the future. But yeah, no, they make him very sympathetic in this. Like you could tell he's sorry for what he did. I mean, again, it's just the light side that's shining through. He already killed everyone that he's pissed off at, and now he's got the one Rupert Thorne, trying to come and kill him. So, and he's handcuffed to Barbara for half the episode. Yes.
So,
and also, Batman and like Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent are friends in this version. They're like old friends.
Yeah.
So Bruce Wayne feels a lot of guilt for Harvey Dent, which happens in some versions of the show. Or some versions of the story.
He might have started it.
Huh?
He might have started it by bringing him out to dinner there. Which, when I was watching that episode, I'm like, damn, dude, you're just throwing him right into the.
I wouldn't have taken him out that early while the wound was still healing. I'm like, I don't know, hey, Bruce, why don't you?
Yeah.
Man, how about you bring friends over to his house? Don't bring them out in public, you dumb asshole.
Yeah, he's not the brightest Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. But yeah, sadly he sacrifices himself. Flass kills him. Then this is the big moment. Also throughout this episode, Batman's being a real dick to Alfred. This is a big moment here where Batman pulls the gun, and again, a lot of the grifter YouTube outrage mob just shared this picture, and they're like, "Not my Batman. This is terrible." And I'm like, did you watch the show? Did you actually watch it? He doesn't actually shoot Flass. He like shoots around him.
No,
but he thinks
but I'm watching this. I'm watching this scene, and it's like I mean, you're brought up on every other adaptation. I mean, a lot of adaptations of Batman are he won't even pick up the gun. Like he won't even go near the gun. But yeah, it's different. It's fine. He doesn't kill the guy. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I like it. It reminds me of friggin' Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, where like, is he gonna go to the dark side? There's that moment where he gives into anger and he almost murders Darth Vader and decides not to. I'm like, it's okay to have your heroes have a moment of weakness as long as they choose the right thing in the end. That's right for them.
So this. And he shoots around his head, which is kind of funny. He just showed off that he's a badass marksman. He's like, if I did use guns, you'd all be.
I remember they did that in Arrow when they realized that Oliver could use guns. He's like, I never said I couldn't use guns. I'm really good at them. I just prefer Arrow.
Which he killed a lot of people in that show.
Yeah, he did. That show did the whole killing hero thing a little bit better. But yeah, no, so it ends, Harvey's dead, Batman didn't give in to his anger fully. He's not giving in like Harvey did. So there's hope for the future. And then they couldn't help themselves. They had to throw the Joker in at the end.
Yeah. Which who's the voice actor for that? Do we know? Because it's a very deep voice. It's definitely a different kind of feel from what the Joker usually is.
Let me look. And he's experimenting on his like laughing gas, killing everyone.
Which is cool, and he looks like more of like a muscular kind of Joker, as you can see through that a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing the stained skin.
And then there's
real quick, as I'm going through this, I'll name, as I'm looking through who played the Joker. There were some other characters in here who were pretty popular. The head of the orphanage was Leslie Tompkins, who's very big in Batman lore.
Yeah, cool.
Let me see here.
Jack
Ryder. Jack Ryder is in it, played by Corey Burton, who I think voiced whatchamacallit, Batman in one of the video games. No, they, at least on IMDb, I don't see Joker credited.
Interesting.
Lacey Chabert who the fuck was Yvonne Francis? That was Lacey Chabert who did that.
Was that Catwoman's?
Oh no, that was one of the actresses in the the Basil Carlo episode. So it ends on the Joker, which I don't think you really needed. The show was doing fine on its own. I don't think we needed a Joker tease. I would have been fine without it.
I mean, they're already signed up for season 2, so which is cool. So tease it somehow. I mean, again, we get another Joker tease like we usually do. But again, what is Batman without Joker, my guy?
I know. I'm just saying we get a lot of Joker. It's fine to not do Joker all the time.
Just don't make him a full season, point of view. Like, give us tidbits of him coming through, and give us.
I actually just started watching the Batman animated series from like 2004 for an upcoming review that might be Halloween themed. And if you know that show, and you will know what I'm reviewing, I just started watching for the first time, and I like that Joker is just kind of just one of the other villains in that. It's kind of refreshing so far. I'm only a few episodes into season 1. It's a 4-season show. Who knows? He probably becomes a bigger deal.
I haven't watched it in a while. I watched it when it first came out, and I haven't seen it since. But I remember not being thrilled. Like I wasn't thrilled about it. Again,
I think it's because I'll mention this in the upcoming episode, but it's because Justice League was going on, and that was still our Batman. So it's like, why would I watch this new Batman? I still got my Batman. But going back and watching it, it's actually pretty solid. I'd say if you never gave it a shot and you need an animated Batman, check it out. Although Batman Brave and the Bold is still up there with Dietrich Bader, the more cartoony Batman. I love that one.
Brave
and the Bold. That one's great. The fucking Aquaman sitcom episode where he's singing his theme song. That's one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. So overall, Caped Crusader, Frank, did it ruin Batman? Oh wait, you answered that in the beginning of the episode.
I'll say it again, loud and proud. No, it did not, baby. You can give me as much Batman as you possibly can, and I will love it.
Yeah, how did you feel? How did you feel overall about it? Were you?
I when I first started watching, you enjoy the 40s aspect of it all. You start getting these characters in different lights and different backstories, and you have to kind of fish through and just kind of sit back and enjoy the vibe, and just kind of let it take you away. And eventually, once I hit a couple episodes in, and you kind of get what you're watching, and you start to enjoy it, and you have fun with it, and it's like hey, more Batman is more Batman, man. I'm never gonna hate on that. Plus, it's cool to have different people go in and create something fresh and new. And then I also really like how the whole series, Bruce calls Alfred Pennyworth. The whole thing, because it started pissing me off, dude. We're a couple episodes in. I'm like, why does he keep on calling him Pennyworth? I'm like, what is going on here? And then you get that, they sell you at the end when he turns around and he says, "Thank you, Penny." Thanks, Alfred. Thank you.
I liked it. I liked it.
I like that.
Yeah.
But
so I want to see.
8 out of 10, something like that.
I want to see what Alfred's got hidden away, like what secrets he's keeping. Overall, I thought it was fine. It was nice having little mysteries, grounded mysteries, but also getting wacky once in a while. Nothing world threatening was in the show, which was a nice relief. My biggest complaint is the stiff animation. But this is a problem with a lot of animated series these days. They're all like kind of done digitally, like on computer. So you miss like the hand-drawn sort of stuff where everything feels very robotic. There are parts of it that are really smooth, that are really cool. Then you have like the fake 3D, 2D, 3D. The animation was very stiff for me. Whereas I watch like My Adventures with Superman, where the animation is very like fluid. Even if it's the same kind of like digital kind of thing, it just feels more lively in that show. Whereas this show, I think it would have benefited if it just, the animations just had more life to them.
I think it's with the style though, because Superman's more of like an upbeat, like kind of lighter kind of character.
Well, that show is also going for like an anime feel, but this is like I said, this is even like Simpsons feels very robotic these days. A lot of like animation just because it's easier to do to have the character model and just animate instead of hand drawing it. Like I get it, but that was my main takeaway. Other than that, it was a fine little show. Didn't reinvent the wheel. I said it right this time. Months ago, I said that wrong. I said rewrite the wheel. But yeah, other than that, it was fine. It didn't ruin Batman. It's not like the worst thing ever. Everyone relax.
I like that you like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch another season. I probably won't rewatch the show, but I'd watch a season 2.
So I watched it twice this past week.
Oh,
I watched it. I watched it at the beginning of the month when it first came out because I had to show my son. He was 2 weeks old, and I was like, "Check this out, bro. This is your Batman."
I don't think their eyes work that well yet, but okay.
He can't see. Supposedly, babies he's 6 weeks. Babies can't see like more than like 2 feet in front of them, something like that.
So you held him up on the screen.
My wife was like,
I taped the cell phone to his face. Is that bad?
Oh yeah, it's been fun. He's got like Batman onesies. I got him dressed up in. Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Oh man, but
yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you had a kid and still made time for the show. There are other Volpes out there that get married and have kids and disappear for over a year, but you're one of the good ones, Frank.
Some people have kids and they disappear. I have kids and I build a fucking set, baby. It's not a good set.
I love. Hold on. Wait. Move your head. You have the one that Jason now made, your G.I. Joe, and you have the Flail's little Robin stuffed animal.
Yeah, all the way up on the top.
Speaking of which,
baby.
The Flail, if you're in the chat right now, I'm so sorry. Months ago, I had mint salad here for like a week, and I just found the stuffed animal thing that I was supposed to give her. It was under the couch this whole time. So next time I see Mint Flail, I will give her the stuffed animal.
Oh shit. Yeah, this guy's my favorite. I love it. It's
my god, you have that little Heroes Batman and Robin poster. I had that same one that came in like a newspaper or something.
Yeah,
nice.
You
for your Instagram, you should take a picture of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna dress up just like that, and me and you are gonna reanimate it. and then all the way behind me, I don't know if you can see it, but I have the Flash, the best.
That's the one we got at the screening.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, guys, get your super chats in. Get them in. Renan, I see you in the green room. Please focus the camera on your face. There we go. All right. Your camera was moving all over the place, Renan. What is up, Renan? How are you?
Not much. Just hanging out. I know this Digimon or something there. I don't know. He's just hanging out.
Yeah, that's a Digimon. That's a Digimon. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Nice Godzilla shirt.
Around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Renan, did you watch Batman Caped Crusader?
No, I didn't.
No.
I just wanted to pop in and just say hello and maybe derail it and joke about your big head or something. You know what I mean? Just want to say hello.
I literally, by the way, so I realized that the camera was very close on my face like all year long. I literally moved my whole desk up, and I have the webcam on like a gooseneck tripod, and I bent it so I could push it back, so my webcam was no longer just my face because of all the big head comments I've been getting.
Hey, who am I? I'm
Fuck
Tony.
you, Renan.
It's getting smaller, all right? The more he works out, it looks good.
So Renan.
Yeah, I haven't been on one of these, what do you call it, recaps in a while because I'm just not watching what you're watching. It's like, that's the problem.
I'm sorry. Well, look, next month has to be an August, September wrap up. I think Borderlands is now streaming. Everyone said that was like one of the worst films of August, so I think I'm going to throw that on the watch list. I got to get my watch list together for the September August wrap up, but I'm excited for that. Renan, did anything we say on this episode get you excited for Caped Crusader? Are you going to check it out?
What service is it on or whatnot?
Amazon Prime.
Like
Amazon Prime. Warner Brothers didn't want to.
Well, I mean, I grew up with Batman the animated series back in the '90s, so maybe I'll check out a few episodes. Because that was 30 years ago, and believe it or not, I'm actually older than you are. So,
I know everyone thinks I'm older, but I am. Yeah, well, like we said earlier, Bruce Timm, the guy who did the animated series, he works in a lot of ideas that he wasn't allowed to use on the old show because of the network and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's not as good as the animated series, obviously. But
that's a hard thing to do because it's so big and notable and the big one, you know.
Yeah, but
again,
I think
it's today. Ask kids today, that are younger and 10 or 15 years old once they watch it. I mean, obviously they don't understand that the animated series is the best Batman. But you ask kids today and they're gonna be like, "No, that's my Batman."
No, they have way too much Batman to choose from these days. They're not gonna know. They're like, I watched 5 Batman shows. I don't remember which one I liked. They were all on at the same time. All right, Renan. Well, thank you for stopping by. We're gonna read some of these super chats. I will try to get
hello and say big
head.
Let
me know what new releases you want to see done, and maybe I could work them in. Let me know.
I saw the Alien Romulus, but that's its own episode. So
yes. And we opened up one of your books on a recent mailbag. Check out the mailbag episodes we've been doing.
Yep.
By the way, I shot a new mailbag. It's coming out in like a few days. I literally found a box that's been here since, I don't know, maybe January. Because at the end, there's a note that recommends that I do an episode that I have actually ended up doing. I felt really bad. But anyway, I will see you later, Renan. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate all you patrons. All right, bye-bye. All right, what? Guys, 1, 2, 3, 6 super chats, not counting the one we already read. How are we going to get Frank? How are we going to get Frank that microphone, guys? We gotta get Frank that microphone.
Send it right to my address. My home address is.
But yeah, let's read some here. Lenny Laserdisc for $9.99. Hey. Hi, Tony and Frank. This is the first Batman show that I stopped watching midway through. Not angry or sad, just disappointed. Can the both of you tell us what your favorite Batman DC? What are your favorite Batman / DC comics? Thank you. Like Batman comic? Like, what do you?
Like probably comics. Yeah. You got a favorite comic?
Like a specific issue or like storyline? I guess Batman, my favorite is Long Halloween. I really like that one. When it comes to just DC in general, like all of DC, I love 52. 52 was really good. I collected that week to week when it was coming out.
Solid.
You got your graphic novels there?
I don't think I have. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thanks for asking. So I was ready for this question. So that's Tony's. Nice Long Halloween.
I actually just rebought it because my original copy, like the page of the glue sucked and the pages started falling out, so I had to rebuy Long Halloween.
At least you rebought it. That's cool.
Yeah.
My favorite. I'm gonna go one of my favorites from like recent, which is Batman: Curse of the White Knight. That series. Ooh. It's fantastic. If you haven't read it, dude, I'll
Yeah.
loan it to you. You can check it out. It's
Nice.
a solid one. Yeah, it's good. Good question.
Oh yeah. So yeah, DC Comics I like 52. Superman's got some good stories. Up and Away is really good. Yeah, that's a very loaded question. I'd have to think of like every single character I like in every single comic that they have. Frank, real quick, can you move your head a little bit over? I need to see something back there. Yeah, just tilt your head. There's something I noticed in the back there. No, the other way. Oh, wow! You know that Blair Witch figure I got for your sister Trisha. You must have liked it so much that you went and got your own. That's crazy.
Somebody sent me my own.
Oh, they sent it to you, not the PO box. I meant because I remember saying, "Hey, Frank, Trisha left this here. Can you give it to Trisha?" And you said, "Yeah, I'll do that, Tony." But I guess you missed it and bought your own.
So this is her setup. This is her little studio that she shoots with.
Oh, you're in Trisha's studio.
I'm in her basement. Yep.
I just noticed the skull on it. I'm like, motherfucker kept it.
Hell yeah, David. It's right next to my copy of Human Hibachi 2. Now
Whoa!
Chroma now.
You gotta watch it. Okay, next up. Kirk Pectus for $5. I thought the ghost was going to be a stupid Scooby-Doo reveal. I am glad he wasn't, because he was great. Show is so bad, their best villain is from Hawkman. Yeah, Gentleman Ghost is a Hawkman villain, I guess, originally.
I mean, it was it was good, but yeah, I mean, agreed. Like you said it earlier, you thought it was going to be a Scooby-Doo reveal, which kind of happy it wasn't. Kind of happy that it was a little bit ghostly and dives into a different
realm. Trent Easton for $2. Batman. Well, looks like Tony turned on me. I forget what that's in context to. I guess I turned on you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Batman. Don't please take me back. Mike Von Doom for $5. I feel like Bruce Timm has probably drawn up some Penguin Ussy pinups. We all know he's a certified freak.
Well, at least Batman wasn't hooking up with Barbara Gordon this one.
Yeah, that was weird. Morgan Ledger. Hey, Tony, saw your for $10. He did another $10. Hey, Tony, saw your response. Sent a link to the longer Flintstones TV cut via Instagram. Thank you so much for your response. I have tons of TV cuts and a fan edit of Young Frankenstein. Why would anyone fan edit Young Frankenstein? Well, yeah, my boy Tyler Yost gets me TV cuts and stuff all the time. But yeah, feel free. If you find work prints or TV cuts, feel free to send them in. So, Frank, one of the reasons...
Go ahead. What did they used to do? They used to show different copies on TV?
Yeah, sometimes when they air movies on TV, if it was like an R-rated movie, they chop stuff out and add extra scenes. Or if it's like a family movie, sometimes they would add in deleted scenes to have it play longer so they could do more commercial breaks. Gotcha. I noticed I did the TV cut for the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch a few years ago, because I had never seen it before until my sister had it on a few years ago at Christmas. And I'm watching and I'm like, I don't remember this scene. I'm like, this scene is terrible. There was so many awful scenes that were clearly cut out, but for the TV broadcast, they threw it back in. So yeah. So one of the reasons, Frank, I've gone down to 3 days a week at the gym. I got a little addicted to the gym this year. And I realized I wasn't doing any smaller videos like the TV cuts and the work print cuts or the video game reviews. And I wasn't live streaming as much because I've been so goddamn tired working out 5 days a week. So I will be doing more bonus content and live episodes and just live streams going forward now that I will have the energy. I got in enough shape that I can go back down to 3 days a week. Nice. Yeah, because I've been collecting footage for one of the X-Men games and the Reservoir Dog games, and I just haven't had time to finish all of it just because I've been burnt out. But yeah, it's a new content is coming, and especially bonus Patreon content.
That's good, man. You look good. And we want to see the Schumacher cut if we're going to see the cut.
Gert Pectus for $5. The dumbest part of the 90s animated series is that they couldn't have any corrupt cops / politicians. So most episodes, Batman seems useless because Gotham is fine. Well, I don't know if they were fine. Maybe they were incompetent, but yeah, I guess they weren't allowed to have corrupt cops.
Really?
I keep forgetting that initially aired on Fox Kids, which was like super strict.
I guess I guess when I rewatch it, I've never really picked that out. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will not be Frank, I'm gonna miss Boys Month when it's done. I shouldn't even.
We've spent every day together. This has been.
I shouldn't even put this comment on stream because it's not a super chat. But here we have one of the jealous ladies on the show. Her. My name is Tony. I work out and yet pull no bitches. Wow. Thanks, Johanna. Thanks, Johanna. Let me.
That is not funny. Honestly, that was me acting again, doing it.
Let me. We've been looking at super chats. Let me look at Twitch because for some reason, StreamYard doesn't really highlight when people pay on Twitch, so I'm gonna check those.
Yes, sir.
While I'm checking for that, Frank, plug your stuff, buddy.
Whoa!
Plug your stuff.
Whoa, there he is. You can check me out on, give me a follow on Instagram. That's Frank_Volpe_. And then coming up next month, I have a few things at the end of the month. On September 28th, there will be a big premiere if you're in the Philadelphia area for a new movie I have coming out, Sacrum Vindicti Part 2. I play a mob boss in it. I'm the main villain, and it gets a little crazy. It's an action based mob film, and that gets fun. So that's a big premiere on September 28th, and then on September 29th, if you are in the Delco area around Philadelphia, there is Delco Horror Haven. Which is a horror film festival, and my short film The Wolf will be playing in it on Sunday in the 3 o'clock block, I think.
Oh shit! I should go to that.
Yeah. It's I've been waiting for this short film to come out for a couple years. Directed and created by Brandon Bright, also stars Allison Kessler, and it's I play an Uber driver in it that picks up a woman after a long night, and it gets a little crazy.
I used to drive for Uber. Why didn't you consult me on anything when you were researching for the character?
Were you also a murderer?
No, I'm not going to confess that on camera, obviously.
Not saying I'm a murderer or not, but come see the film and check it out and see if I am a good Uber driver or a bad Uber driver. Will you give me 5 stars for The Wolf?
Is
that a good promo?
That is a great promo. Over on Twitch, someone cheered. We got 2 cheers from Harvey's. Babies can't see Tony in The Dark Knight Rises until at least 3 months. Okay, yes. Make sure your baby watches Dark Knight Rises as soon as it turns 3 months.
I will have to wait.
And then another cheer. He says he has a 5 head. Is he referring to me? I don't know if he was referring to me. Oh, wow. Okay, so Johanna took my advice. She paid $9 to again say her. My name is Tony, and I pull no bitches. Frank, boy's year is looking better and better every day.
Right, man. Yeah, he doesn't pull on any bitches. Jesus, why would he gank on anyone? Also, why call them bitches? That is such a horrible word. Jesus.
You know, if you're going to be that mean towards other women, I don't know why we should have any women on the channel. You'll scare them all away.
She probably hated that the Penguin was a woman in this series.
Probably. But hey, look, Boys Month did great. Okay, Frank, I got my analytics up here. Views 17% less. Oh. But you know, views aren't everything, Frank. Views aren't everything. Watch time matters, and we got 18% less. Okay.
Should I take my shirt off?
Wait, hold on. Actually, no, this is good news. Subscribers, 20% more than normal. So that means dudes are stumbling on the channel. They're clicking videos and they're like, I better not hear a lady say anything. And they're watching the episodes and they're going, yes, finally a channel for me. And we got more people to subscribe. That's good. And I bet you they're donating like crazy. Let's look at the revenue. Oh no. Oh no, I'm ruined. Any last minute super chats? Any last minute super chats? Sign up for Patreon. Buy a t-shirt. Everyone should. Oh, you know what you guys can do? You can book me on Cameo. Book me on Cameo right now.
Well, it's a good thing Boys Month has come to an end.
Well, I hope it never ends. But actually, yeah, it looks like it needs to come to an end. But you know what? We had one episode do really, really well. Ooh. And because of that, Frank, I decided to green light Boys Month for the next 5 years just because that one episode.
Yes. Which one was Spawn?
Spawn did really well.
Yes.
Deadpool for a live episode, Deadpool did pretty good. But no, Tenacious D, who would have thought, Frank, when I shot that episode in April, Tenacious D would end up pissing off all of America? Who would have fucking thought?
Oh man,
I knew that episode wasn't going to do great, but that controversy really killed it. And then for some reason, no one wanted to watch us break down the John Wick series, like all the movies and the TV series. Although that's a great episode, check it out. If you love the John Wick movies, check out that episode.
It's hard to do all those packed into one, but yeah, it's all that good stuff packed into one.
But at least I got to do the Spawn episode, which was Pedro's last episode. Frank,
I saw.
We have a moment of silence for Pedro. Just a moment of silence.
I'm gonna miss.
I miss you, buddy. I miss you, Pedro. Yeah. We all miss Pedro. Can I get an F in the chat for Pedro? Put F's in the chat for Pedro. Let me look at my poll that I put out. Where I said, are we excited? Hold on, where is it? I'll load. Are you excited to see Frank in the Penguin? Maybe. 72% yes, Frank. The fans are excited to see you as gender swap Poison Ivy. What was that?
Boy, I hope I make it in there. I hope I'm not cut again.
Everyone, I want you to do your best fan art of Frank as male Poison Ivy. Send it in. I want to know what it looks like. And
I will replace it with the Dark Knight Rises poster.
Yeah, Johanna calls in to the Alien Romulus episode, and it's the worst call in of all time. If you can't wait till Monday to see it, again, it's on Patreon now. So check that out. But also the mailbag video I shot with her, I got her to clearly say what she thought of the movie. So look for that coming up. We're getting a lot of F's in the chats for our boy Pedro.
Damn, Pedro.
Frank, what was your favorite Pedro? What was your favorite Pedro moment from Hack the Movies?
That one time when he came storming in when we were shooting that episode, and he said, Pedro, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!" That was
I know fun. I criticized you for crying, Frank, but that was classic Pedro. That was classic Pedro.
Oh shit!
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, and we're kicked off YouTube for copyright. Anyway,
I gotta go.
That is it from us. Wait, hold on. Frank. I forgot about the Rumble chat. Surely we will have hundreds of dollars waiting for us on the Rumble chat.
Check it out.
Oh, only 2 people chat. Only 1 person chatted the entire stream on Rumble.
Did he chat with $100?
Oh, and he's bragging about how dead it is in the Rumble chat. He says, I have so much room for activities in here. All right, time to get naked.
Naked by himself. Well, he's dancing on his own. That's good.
I love our fans. Oh, did I not include? Hold on. Speaking of fans, did I not?
No.
Oh, darn. I did a fan meetup at Monroeville Mall in Pittsburgh, and I had 2 fans come out, and they were really cool. And I meant to include their picture, and I forgot.
God damn it.
All right. That's it from us. I love you all. Let us know what you think of Batman Caped Crusader, and we will see you all another time. And I am ending the stream now.